Hello, it's July 25th, 2018, a Wednesday. I'm Steve Houston with Compass Communications, and I'm here today with Joe Terril of Terril and Company to chat a little bit about investments and the markets. And Joe, there isn't a day that I see where I don't pick up the paper and see some headline about the trade war. And today is case in point, no exception. Federal government talking about offering $12 billion in subsidies to farmers to cushion the blow of the trade war going on right now. And full disclosure here, I have family farms, so I'm very happy what he's trying to do to cushion that blow. But I got to tell you, and people are wondering if there are going to be more subsidies for more industries. But more importantly, people want to know, what is the end game here? And what are your thoughts?
Well, there's no question, Steve, that the potential for an escalating trade war will be bad for the world economy. It will be bad for our investment markets. You're seeing already the early stages of what can happen, and that is businesses inside and outside the United States postponing spending decisions, postponing economic activity while they now wait to see what's going to happen with the entire threatened trade war. A lower economy around the world benefits no one. And I'm in hopes that the administration is posturing. I'm in hopes they don't really mean some of the severe things that they're saying. If they really mean them and they're going to try and enact them, then I have to change portfolios for clients, because corporate profits will go down, stock prices will go down, and along with it, interest rates that recently have been moving higher will stop moving higher, and ultimately interest rates will come down.
And you and I talked about off camera that the fundamental question is, where is the problem we're trying to solve?
Well, it's very true. The United States has run trade deficits for well over 30 years. And it's not the major problem that is being presented, if you will, by the current administration. In other words, we're not having 12% unemployment. Unemployment's at 4%. More people in the United States are working than ever have in history. The economy isn't failing. The economy's growing at 3%, actually picking up steam. The standard of living in the United States is the highest it's ever been in history. Interest rates are low, inflation is low, mortgage rates, affordability of housing, all these things are very positive, as they have been for the last 5, 6, 7 years. So my first thing that I like to tell people is, where's the problem? 30 years worth of trade deficits. Where's evidence that this has created a problem? It hasn't. There are other things that go along with it that I would present. I have enough experience and read, that means I'm old enough to remember when this same thing was said about Japan back in the late 80s and 90s. It was the Japanese threat, and Japan was going to put us out of business, and Japan was taking advantage of us with low-cost labor. Japan was buying up all our assets. It was a real xenophobic moment in the United States. Well, what happened? I don't remember anything happening other than events changed, people made adjustments, people became more competitive, and none of that came to pass. Now it's China, mainly. But throw in, for some reason Canada is taking advantage of us, Mexico, Europe. No. We subsidize business in the United States as much or more than anybody does. We subsidize the energy industry in this country. We subsidize agriculture. We subsidize high technology. We, just like every other country in the world, subsidize our own businesses in an attempt to help them and provide for a good domestic economy. For us to just arbitrarily say we're going to initiate tariffs on all other countries that are doing this is really taking a sledgehammer approach to it.
Well, in the climate of a trade war, how do you position your portfolio?
Watching day by day, and as I mentioned, up until the last month and a half to 2 months where this has begun to escalate, we were positioned in portfolios for higher interest rates. If this continues on, we're going to have to change the fixed income portion for lower interest rates. We will become much more defensive with stocks. You saw it today a little bit in earnings report from General Motors, comments from Coca-Cola, all of them talking about prices going up. General Motors literally saying $1 billion in additional cost for us. If that $1 billion in additional cost forces them to raise the price of cars, and people won't buy the cars because the prices are too high, General Motors will lay off workers. This is the danger we have in trying to, if you will, impose your will on other countries rather than negotiate with them in a calm and professional manner, as the trend around the world's been for the last 20 years. It's not like there's not been any changes in trade laws. There's changes all the time. But this sledgehammer approach is wrong, so consequently you're going to have to cut equity. I will for my portfolios. I'll have to cut equity exposure if this continues on. I'll have to position us for lower interest rates, not higher.
Thanks very much, Joe. As always, it's interesting. That's Joe Terril of Terril & Company, independent wealth management with $760 million in discretionary assets under management. Joe, let's revisit about around Labor Day or so and see where this trade war is taking us.
I'll look forward to it, Steve. Hopefully by the time we revisit, some of this will be defused.
Hopefully. We hope everybody has a wonderful summer, and we'll see you in about a month or so. Thanks.